cut bait. He did this. The UFC didn't cut him. He cut himself from the roster. So do not let any false narratives affect the way you think, because that is what happened, and you will know for sure when Francis tells Ariel Helwani later on today. So let's get after this. I believe Tristan was first. Tristan, are you there?
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Mike, my question is, you know, I I applaud Francis Ngannou what he's doing. He's looking out for himself and possibly leading on other fighters to uh, have that opportunity to, you know their worth and could go to other organizations and do what they want to do. But the question I have is, this is now it's on the other organizations, the other promotions, Bellator, PFL, One Championship. I mean, you can get Francis, and that would be great. That would be wonderful. But now it's, what do you do with it, right? In the sense of, how do we make our promotion better? How do we get better fighters to compete so people could have eyes on us? Um, I listened to you and I listened to Jed Meshew talk about the other promotions' shortcomings and why a lot of us don't really watch it, or possibly forget about it, or get us excited. And I think that's going to be the question for me is, can the other promotions raise their level once they get Francis Ngannou and get us talking about it and get us excited and get us enthusiastic about watching that promotion and having us talk about them more as much as we talk about the UFC. So I want your thoughts and ideas of, do you think the other promotions can raise their level if they get Francis Ngannou? Thanks, Mike. Have a heck of a morning.
Yeah, 1,000% they can. Because here's the thing. One, Francis is the easiest fighter on planet Earth to market. He's so simple. Just show pictures of the man. Like, how the UFC failed with this is just beyond me. How could you not promote this guy? I don't get it. He's the story that he has, the way he looks like a cartoon character. He looks like a comic book superhero. And then, not to mention, you have clips of him just melting people. Like, he doesn't even have to say a word. He's so easy to promote and to market. He doesn't even have to do an interview. It's so simple. And I understand where your question is coming from, because you can sign these guys all you want, but what does it all mean? What can you do with it? And luckily, Francis is the biggest story in the sport right now, outside from a positive standpoint, that is. And just getting him there is going to be huge buzz. Not to mention the question of, when is he going to fight? Who is he going to fight? And that just builds this story all throughout. And then it's a matter of getting him into the cage. And then it's just a matter of doing this and that, finding him the right opponents. But just getting him where you need to go it's going to automatically become a proving ground, a place, like an extra option. It doesn't have to be the UFC. Like, Francis Ngannou could have stayed there and made the most money of any heavyweight that has ever competed there by most accounts. And he still said no. There could be a domino effect to that. Could be a wrinkle down effect of other fighters being like, this is interesting. Why did he choose to leave when he could have made all this money? And then other fighters begin to realize maybe the grass isn't greenest with the UFC. And there are fighters who can say that already. Shane Burgos has talked about it. Others have talked about it. Just getting Francis on your roster is a huge win. Now, what you do with that, it's a different thing. Who do you go out and sign? Does it matter? Does it really matter? We talk about it all the time. Sometimes you just put a guy out there to melt somebody, and people will watch. That's why I was saying Shavkat Rakhmonov should have fought last Saturday. You could still book the Jeff Neal fight, no issue with that, but Shavkat should have fought on Saturday. And he should have just went out there and chucked a guy around the octagon because you got to get him on TV. Sometimes it just doesn't matter who you fight. But just having Francis on your roster with a big smile on his face, knocking dudes out, that immediately just catapults your promotion. And guess what? Francis will help promote for you. If you can get if you're Bellator, getting Francis in that octagon February 4th is like a must do. You have to do it. PFL needs to find a way to get him. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I really can't. And I love Shaheen Al-Shadi's suggestion. Get Nate Diaz on the phone. You guys become a package deal. I love that. Because you put those two dudes together, being like the NWO of MMA, oh, that's amazing. That's the best. And those two can make a difference. Like, forget about Jake Paul and his ways of trying to help fighters. And maybe Anderson Silva joins him. It doesn't matter. You get Nate and Francis trying to do the same thing and try to flip the sport upside down. Way more impact.